The country is not lost, but it is severely fractured. It's split right down the middle. And because of the growing demographics, it will not last much longer. I mean, we're not even talking about the problems in the Middle East, Benghazi, the energy, the inflation of printing all of the money. I'm just talking about it won't last because of demographics. The numbers coming out serve as a big, fat wake-up call for all of us. Too many of our friends, our family, our neighbors are either apathetic, fast asleep, or part of the problem. They just don't seem to care about the same things that we do, or see things the way we do anymore. I don't understand it. I can't begin to understand it. How do they ignore the pain at the pump, the cost of groceries, the houses that are still upside down, or the 23 million people still looking for full-time jobs? That wasn't enough pain to get them to wake up and vote for change? I'm a recovering alcoholic, and it scares me to think what I know to be true with people with a denial problem, and that is everybody has a different bottom. Some people never hit bottom. They die. I'm afraid to see what this nation's bottom is. What's it going to take? Whatever it is, I don't think I want to be around when everybody finds out. I mean, you know, it's like the rich people on the Titanic who refuse to put on the life jackets and head to the rescue boats. What? Sink? Nonsense! It's the strongest ship in the world. Let's retire for brandies and cigars. And next thing you know, the water is pouring into the beautiful lounge. Their eyes are blinded. They have been fooled by their arrogance. And by the time the water rushed in, they would be at the mercy of whoever reached out and says, "Follow me, I have the way out." I went to Greece last February. I was only on the ground for, I think, 6 or 8 hours. In that time, I realized how different America is from the rest of the world. I just talked to people on the street. I just asked them questions, and it was remarkable how different we are. They had given up. They no longer saw themselves as responsible at all or capable. It was all about blaming someone else. I got on the plane. We were flying back. I was going back to Rome, and I got on the plane after that long night, and I thanked God we weren't like that. They were blinded by the nanny state and the big government lifestyle. They ignored every single warning sign, and then it collapsed. And when it did, they still refused to accept any of the cuts because they had been so blinded. We are like that. It gets worse. This is Greece today. And this is over the austerity cuts that they want to make. They're trapped. And when somebody is trapped, there's always somebody there by a door that says, "Everyone, this way." It's the door opened by extremists. That is how the Nazi Party now controls 18 seats in Greece's 300-member parliament. They're not called the Nazi Party because who wants to go through the door of marked Nazis? But they got everything going for them. They call them the Golden Dawn Party now. It's a golden dawn. Oh, it's a bright, beautiful tomorrow, isn't it? With these guys. A poll taken last month showed that if elections were held again today, Golden Dawn would capture 14% of the vote, making it Greece's third largest party. The Nazis rising again in Europe. I was called a madman for even saying that on television. In fact, I was called into the office, told not to say that anymore because it was too crazy. And yet it is now happening. Why? Because of the nanny state and lies and deceit and promises no one can keep. And if you don't think it can happen here, it already has. This is a picture from the 1930s in Madison Square Garden. It was full and sold out of Nazi Americans. Oh, well, that's just one thing. Yeah, okay, well, let me just show you this one. This one is from New Jersey. Yeah, they look like Boy Scouts, don't they? Except for the Nazi flag. If the Golden Dawn Party would ever open a place in Manhattan where people are struggling and there is no power and they have no food and FEMA isn't there to rescue them and there's no neighbors that will help each other and I don't go to church, I don't even know where it is. Man, if somebody in the Golden Dawn Party ever decided to go visit people in Staten Island or Jersey, you don't think they would take the help? Of course they would. In fact, I contend that many Americans will say, you know what, they're not Nazis, they're Golden Dawn Party, and sure, they've got some crazy ideas, but look how generous they were. At least they helped us. On a completely unrelated note, 2 months ago, the Golden Dawn Party opened an office in New York City. You see, what we take for granted now about the American Revolution is that the outcome was never a given. Washington's army had all but given up. The people in Philadelphia, the weasels in Philadelphia, scampered like the little rats that politicians usually are. The last line of the pamphlet that I read to you last night, Thomas Paine's American Crisis, says this: "The flame of liberty may sometimes cease to shine, but the coal can never expire." The harsh reality that we have to deal with today is the flame of liberty is not shining on half of this nation. And I think the coal is very close to not putting off any heat anymore. A Pew survey of America's youth found that more have a positive view of socialism than they do towards capitalism. 49% positive to 43% negative. Everyone said the crowd won't show up. They're not going to show up for Barack Obama. Well, they did. Even more of them came out. Why? Because this is a group of people that have been promised stuff their whole life. They've never had to work for a trophy. Call one of them into your office. If you're an employer, I dare you. Call one of them into your office and say, "This stinks. What is this? This isn't good work." They fall apart. There's no backbone there. They're promised it. We're all alike. You all have trophies. We should all have even grades. Their free stuff was at stake, and we as parents and grandparents told it to them the whole time because we thought we were being nice and kind. We're hanging ourselves. Evil Republicans want to take it away from you. They want it. They've been promised. And they'll take it from anybody when they're in trouble. What we learned on Tuesday is, and I'm not talking about all the problems because I don't know how we make it 4 years with all the problems. I mean with society itself. We're running out of time. Demographics are changing. We have to double down while the iron is hot right now. There is no time to waste. We have to stop expecting that our kids will just learn to love America because everyone else does. Everything in this culture is teaching them to hate America. Everything in this culture is telling them that they don't have to do anything for it. Even we are doing it. We're in the minority gang. And if you're shipping your kid off to school from age 5 on for 8 hours a day or more, hoping that they're going to come out with, a love for the founding fathers, you're fooling yourself. Our education system today should be called a re-education system. If we allow our children to be educated by the progressives and the union members, hell with that. Even some of just the textbook taught by good, decent people. We'll lose our children. There won't be a flame of liberty in them. There will just be, "Give me my stuff," growing from deep within. We talked before the election that the next president would set the course. Boy, oh boy. What course are we on?